Right, Thogdad, what you got on?
Theo, if you know,
You're a bent copper, you. He's a bent copper.
I spend my whole life chasing bent coppers.
Right, welcome back to a new Premier League predictions, the second final episode until the end of the season. We've got a great guest on this week. Do you want to guess who it is?
I have no idea, Theo. Tell me who it is.
We've got MORGZ on.
No, we haven't. How do you manage this? How do you get guests like MORGZ?
You know what? He's a lovely guy. He messaged me. I asked him if he wanted to come on. He was welcome to. He's seen a few episodes. He reckons he can beat us.
Wow. Now, is he going to bring his dad?
Maybe next time. It's just him for the time being. MORGZ, welcome on. Thank you for coming on Premier Predictions.
Hello Fogden, hello Fogdad. Thank you guys very much for having me on Premier League Predictions today. Now, I have seen a lot of these. I've been watching loads of Premier League this season, so I'm actually feeling confident that I'm going to come here onto your channel and beat you both. Imagine that. That would be very embarrassing for you two. Let's see what happens, guys. Thank you for having me on. Let's do this.
Theo, I'm not sure if you want to know the scores on the doors because you got 3 points last week. Thogdad got 5. James Allcott, what a man, 6 points. It's getting really close. 222 to the guests, 223 to Thogden, and 254 to Thogdad.
There we go. Right, the guests are doing well this year compared to last, that's for sure. Let's start things off with the footy, shall we?
Let's do that.
What's the like target?
Oh my goodness, we've got MORGZ, 14,000.
Let's smash that. 14k likes because we're coming to the end of the Premier League predictions. If you wanted to see it again next year, smash it. Also subscribe if you're new around here. Yeah, because some of you apparently who are watching this right now, you might be new because of MORGZ. Subscribe, don't be a mug.
The first game is Manchester United in second against Fulham in 18th. Man United already in the Champions League.
Yeah, I know. And they've got fans back for this one, so I think this will just be a comfortable Manchester United masterclass. Well, it ain't much of a masterclass, it's Fulham, and they're already relegated, and they don't really have much to play for. Man United, they've been on a little string of losses, and they'll want to bounce back coming to the end of that Europa League final, that final target. This is like a bit of a warm-up. And with the fans being there, I get the feeling it's going to be a comfortable 3-0 Manchester United win, with Greenwood getting on the score sheet, and I also reckon Eddie Cavani.
Wow, I hope so, because Greenwood is in my fantasy team. Now, Fulham, 1 point in 5 games. Pretty woeful recently.
Yeah.
Man United to win 2-0.
2-0. Okay, we both agree on a Manchester United win. MORGZ, what do you reckon for this one?
Okay, the first game is Man U versus Fulham. Now, these are two teams obviously don't have anything to play for. Man U are pretty much secured second place. Fulham are obviously down. Quite a tough one really because neither of the teams are on good form at the minute, but I'm thinking it'll be quite a boring 1-1. I'm thinking maybe a Bruno penalty and like a goal from a corner or something for Fulham. I don't know. But yeah, I'm thinking 1-1. Just like that. Simple.
Southampton in 14th against Leeds United of Yorkshire in 10th place. And
Yeah.
both teams won last week and scored 7 goals between them. Theo, who is Nathan Tella?
To be honest, I don't really know. It just sounds like Nathan Delfonso, the Bolton striker, and he scores goals, well, sometimes. Not as much as Nathan Tella last week, though. Coming into this game, I reckon it's going to be goals. Both these teams have scored bags of goals over the last few weeks. Both these teams have won in the last 2 weeks. So what do you reckon?
Well, I tell you what, I watched that Leeds game and they blew away Burnley, didn't they? Rodrigo, 2 great finishes.
That was brilliant. Like, over 2 minutes as well. He just
know,
come on and scored a goal. Bamford didn't do anything for you FPL users. I bet you're salty about that one. Rafinha didn't do much.
He didn't. Jack Harrison, that was the man to have.
One I was about to sign it. Let's just move on. My prediction is the Saints 2, Leeds United 3.
Wow.
5-goal thriller. Leeds to win it in the end because they just score so many goals. And they're also looking for a cheeky European spot.
I'm going 1-1 here.
Doesn't take a genius to say they can finish 8th. You know what? Especially with that new European competition. The thing below Europa League, I forgot what it's called, whatever you can contend for. But I think Leeds will go on a run there because there aren't the best of teams in that.
Yeah.
And Leeds, they just, I don't know, it seems like that sort of level for them. Thogdad went for a draw, I went for a win. Listen, even though I said Leeds will win, I said Southampton will score 2 and I know Ings will score. I captained him last week, he let me down, he's going to bounce back. Let's go over to MORGZ.
The next game is Southampton-Leeds. Now, these games are always hard to predict. Any Leeds game is hard to predict because they just score so many, but obviously concede a lot as well. I'm thinking the same will happen in this game. I'm thinking it's going to be Southampton 2, Leeds 4. That's right, 2-4. Let's see what happens.
Brighton and Hove Albion in 17th place against Manchester City, the champions. Now, Brighton are the draw specialists of the league. 14 draws all season, only conceded 42 goals. That's the same as Man United and Liverpool. Would you believe it?
I know.
So could this be a banana skin, Theo?
Potentially, but Brighton, they can't hold on to results.
Yeah.
They scored a late goal, a late winner versus West Ham with that guy Welbs getting it, and they still conceded to Ben Rama in like the 87th minute. They just can't hold on to results.
Yeah, that is very true, but Ferran Torres was the hero, wasn't he, for Man City last week?
He was.
He got a hat-trick. Could he be the striker next season?
Dad, I mean, forget whatever you think for next season. They've got a great team. Let's just give some airtime for that goal.
Yes.
Put a photo of the screen when he's leaping up for that. That little flick back is that goal of the season. It's definitely a contender for me.
It is quite superb, Theo. But you know what? I think this is too much for Brighton. 2-0 to Man City.
Yeah, I've gone 2-1 City. We agree on that. I think Ferran Torres will score again.
That is a big shout. But over to Sheffield, MORGZ.
Okay, the next game, Brighton at home to Man City. Now, again, two teams that don't have anything to play for. Man City are top. They've secured it. You know, Brighton are safe. But I'm thinking, when I look at Brighton, I don't see them as a team that concede many goals. I think they're quite solid at the back. So I'm thinking this will just be a 1-0 City. Sounds kind of boring maybe, but I'm thinking just a goal from Bernardo Silva. 1-0 City.
Chelsea against Leicester City, fourth against third. Deja vu. This is the FA Cup final all over again, Theo.
Yeah.
And how massive is this game?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Just to explain quickly what this game means, Chelsea and Leicester are both still in contention for top four. They're both in a top four place right now, third and fourth to be exact. But Liverpool, thanks to a certain goalkeeper, are still in the top four race, and it's very, very close. If Chelsea bottle it against Leicester and Liverpool win, they lose their top four spot.
Yeah.
It's in favour of Liverpool if that happens. Even if Chelsea draw and Liverpool win, they lose their spot. They have to win this game. And let's not forget, these two teams faced in the FA Cup. Leicester got the win. There's a lot of pressure on the Blue Boys, isn't there?
It's massive, Theo. Now, Leicester could end up in fifth place, as you've said, at the end of the week. But you know what? I think it'll happen. I think Chelsea will win this. You know, that FA Cup final, I thought it was a poor final, but I thought Chelsea was slightly better.
Yeah, really?
Yes.
Seriously?
Slightly better.
Okay, well, it was an incredible solo effort to kind of separate the two. But Chelsea, they couldn't score over Leicester in 90 minutes. Who says they'll do it at the bridge? Me. I think they'll win this one. I'm going to go 2-0. I think they'll keep a clean sheet. They haven't done that in the last 3 games, but Tuchel wants revenge. There will be a fire in their belly.
And I agree, but 1-0 to Chelsea.
Last 4 times the Foxes came to Stamford Bridge, they've won 2 and drawn 2. Chelsea haven't beaten them once in the last 4. That's a crazy stat. You wouldn't think that, but they've got a really good record at the Bridge. So it's going to make it an interesting game.
MORGZ, what do you reckon, mate?
Okay, the next game, Chelsea-Leicester. Now, this is obviously a replay of the game that just happened in the FA Cup final. I was in Thogden's stream when Leicester won it. Wow, the scenes there, absolutely brilliant. I was happy that Leicester won it. It was great to see. However, I think this game will go the other way. I'm thinking Chelsea 1-0. I just think that Chelsea were a little bit unlucky in the game. You know, they created quite a few chances. I think they'll be a bit more ruthless in the Premier League, and they won't want to lose again. So I'm thinking Chelsea 1-0.
Everton against Wolverhampton Wanderers, 8th against 12th. Both teams lost last week. I mean, Everton, how do you lose at home to Sheffield United?
Good question. Both these teams have not been great recently.
No, they haven't.
Wolves, yeah, disappointing. They lost to Spurs, but Spurs, you know, with Harry Kane, you just expected to. And that Harry Kane goal was so well taken, man. It's just brilliant to watch in slow-mo.
Yes.
Connor Cody got man of the match by Gary Neville. I don't know how that works. But going back to Everton, their home form has been appalling. In the last 6 games, they've lost 4 and drawn 2. Do you reckon they can change it round? Well,
I reckon this is going to be a really poor game. Wolves' problem this season has been goal scoring, hasn't it? Yeah. Everton just fallen away there. You know, no confidence there. I'm going to go for a stinker. They're going to stink up the gaff. 0-0.
0-0?
Yeah.
You've gone for 0 goals.
I have,
Dad,
yeah.
You know, the last 2 times these teams have faced at Goodison, there's been 5 goals, and before that, 4 goals. Listen, I think it will be a low-scoring game as well, but I think one team will nick it, and it's a team that need points for Europe. Yeah. It's Everton. They're going to sneak it 1-0. I called it here first. DCL to score. Right, let's move on. MORGZ, what are you going for?
When I look at this game, I just think it's got 0-0 written all over it. I actually don't know, but I'm just thinking 0-0 to be honest.
Newcastle United in 16th against Sheffield United in 20th. Now, Newcastle 4-3 against Man City. And that man, Joe Willock, just keeps scoring, doesn't he?
He does. And Newcastle this month have been brilliant. Steve Bruce won Manager of the Month, outdone any other gaffer. It's great to see. He's had a good month. And you know what? They're safe now. ASM's doing well. Joe Linton, all the boys. I reckon they'll win this.
Wow, that is a big shout. But Sheffield United, who is Daniel Jebison? 17 years old.
You know what? Credit to him. Well done, getting the goal. Maybe Sheffield United have a striker for next season.
Wow, that is a very big shout.
But overall, I think, listen, I know Sheffield United got a big win last game. I don't know. What were Everton even doing?
I know, but you know what? I'm going to go for Newcastle 1-0 in this Northern derby.
Yeah, I reckon the Geordies, I didn't think I'd see this in a Premier League game with Newcastle, but I think they have too much quality for the opposition. You know, they're going to win 2-0. Joe Linton to score. I've called it, all right? Remember I said that as well. It's going to happen. Right, over to the Sheffield Wednesday fan, who I'm sure won't be predicting a Sheffield United win like they did last week. So let's go over to MORGZ. What are you going for, mate?
The next game, Newcastle at home to Sheffield United. Now, I don't know if you guys will know this, but I am a big Sheffield Wednesday fan. We just got relegated to League One. Not great. United are obviously going down to the Championship. From all the games that I seem to remember of the Blades playing Newcastle, Newcastle always seem to win it. Newcastle will do it. Newcastle are on great form, and I'm backing them to win 2-1.
Tottenham Hotspur in 6th against Aston Villa in 11th. And what about that Harry Kane goal last week, Jay?
Just so good. I mean, he shouldn't have the body to do what he did,
but
he's just so good on the ball. His ball control's insane. Get around the keeper. It's just brilliant. I mean, Harry Kane does this every week.
Yeah.
I really hope he does win Golden Boot because he deserves it. Anyway, listen, enough about that. They're playing Villa. They've got fans back.
Yes.
Ryan Mason's the gaffer. How are Spurs going to do it? They're going to get a comfortable win in front of their fans.
Well, I've got Harry Kane and Heung-min Son in my fantasy team, so I need goals. But you know what? I think this could be quite close.
Okay.
Villa, very disappointing recently. I think Harry Kane will score because 22 goals to him, 22 goals to Mo Salah. What a race for the Golden Boot. I'm going 2-1 to Spurs.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Villa. They bottled it to Crystal Palace after being 2-1 up. They lost that game 3-2. They even bought on Grealish, and he didn't even have a take on. He didn't even dribble much because he isn't fully fit.
Yeah,
he isn't fully fit. He's not ready yet. Maybe he'll start this game. I don't think he will. I don't think he's ready yet. But if they do, I'll be watching, that's for sure, because we know how much of a player he can be. But right now, I'm just going to say Spurs to win this, 2-1. And of course, that's Kane, and for me, Bale to score.
Very big shout. Now, MORGZ, go and ask Bold Martin what's going to happen here.
He won't, though.
It's
already recorded.
Oh, right.
But still, let's go over to MORGZ.
Next game, Spurs at home to Villa. Now, this really is the last chance for Spurs to get Europa League football, obviously. That if they lose this game or even draw this game, it's done. The hopes are already pretty slim. You know, I think they'll be raring to go. You know, Grealish has just come back for Villa, but he's not quite fully fit yet by the looks of it. I'm thinking this is going to be Spurs 2-0, goals from Son and Kane. They're both in my fantasy team, so I would love that. I'm backing them, 2-0 Spurs.
And now for a bit of a London derby, it's Crystal Palace in 13th against Arsenal in 9th. Now, Crystal Palace, Tyrick Mitchell, what about him, Theo?
I know, 1 goal, 1 assist. It's really great to see. The Palace Academy has got some real talent coming from that fullback position.
And also, Eberechi Eze got a couple of assists. Do you think next year Crystal Palace can go for top half?
Top half? It depends on the manager they bring in, the budgets, the players they sign. There's a lot of questions over the summer, but there's change being made at Palace, and it's good to see. Eze, Benteke, and Tyrick Mitchell. Great to see them all doing well recently. I think, you know what, Palace, things are looking better with Hodgson. They got a big win, and for some reason, I just want to back them. They're at home. This game usually ends a draw. It's ended a draw the last 3 times at Selhurst Park, but I'm going to go for a Palace win, 2-1. I'm telling you, as a masterclass.
Wow, that is an enormous statement because Arsenal have won 3 of the last 4 games. I'm going to disagree with you, Theo. I'm going for the James May prediction, the 1-1.
Yeah, it's expected. It's the most likely outcome. Got to back the Palace when they're on form, and I'm going to do that. Right, MORGZ, what are you going for, mate?
Crystal Palace against Arsenal. Now, Arsenal at the minute are on a really good run of form. I think it's 3 games they've just won in a row. So in typical Arsenal fashion, I think it will now completely do a 180 and they'll lose this game. They seem to be very like, win one, then just lose, then win, lose. They seem to be all over the place this season. I'm going to go Crystal Palace 1, Arsenal 0. I just think they'll shithouse it. A big Benteke header in the 80th minute, and boom, there you go. Arsenal fans will be fuming again.
Burnley in 15th against Liverpool in 5th. It's a Lancashire derby, isn't it, Theo? Now, Burnley torn apart by Leeds, but there's only one thing we have to talk about. That Alisson goal, Theo.
Just wow, that's all I can say. We were live streaming the game. We don't even stream Prem games, but we just had it's like God told us to stream that game, and we did. And Alisson, the goalkeeper comes up to score the goal to keep Liverpool in a top 4 race. The players couldn't do it, so the goalkeeper had to step up.
It was truly amazing. Sadio Mane was like, come up for this one, and you couldn't make this up, could you?
Honestly, by the way, I've got to give credit to Alisson with all
Yeah.
the emotions going
Yeah,
on,
I
everyone
know,
going
I
up to
know.
him after the game. The way he handled himself in the interview was absolutely first class. You know, basically just thinking about his dad and saying how he wished he was here, but he's sure he's here watching it somewhere with God. It's just beautiful. If you haven't seen the interview, go watch it back. His English is brilliant too. I never really realised that because not often they bring the goalkeeper in the interview after the game.
It
because
was truly amazing.
Score the winner.
I know. But you know what? I'm going to go Burnley 0, Liverpool 2. Liverpool will not mess this up.
Well, they definitely need it more than Burnley. They got smashed by Leeds 4-0 and Liverpool much better form. So, but you know what? I think maybe that's just going to help them.
Yes.
I think they're going to go on to win again. 3-0 for me.
Wow, that's
Salah
a
to
big
score,
shout.
Mane to score, and Firmino, he's back. He hit the inside of the post, nearly scored. So yeah, I'm going to go Liverpool 3-0. Do you agree with us, Morgs?
Burnley, Liverpool. Now, wow, can we all just take a minute to appreciate the scenes at the end of the last Liverpool game? Alisson coming up from the corner and bagging the winner. That is unbelievable. It won't be another Alisson goal. I'm thinking it'll be 1-0 Liverpool and Mane will score.
And finally, West Bromwich Albion in 19th against West Ham United in 7th. West Brom, woeful recently, 2 points in 5 games. West Ham, Ben Rama has scored at long
Finally,
last.
he's got the goal.
Hey.
But it wasn't enough to get 3 points. So Champions League is kind of out the window. It's all about Europa League now, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is.
It's them versus Everton for that position, really. And quite frankly, I can't see West Ham messing this up. I've backed Everton to win, but I also think West Ham will. Listen, they've got nothing to play for, West Brom now, and they did play well against Liverpool. They were unlucky not to get a draw, as we know. But I just think West Ham need this more, so I'm going to back them to win 2-1. I don't know what's happened to Jesse Lingard's form. It's killing my fantasy Premier League. But I reckon something like 4-0s might just turn it on.
Wow, that is very precise. But you know what? Big Sam has been good for West Brom.
Yes.
They're a better team now, only just. And they're playing for pride. I reckon this will be 1-1.
1-1?
Yes.
Understandable, but you think West Ham are bottle Europe?
I do, sadly. I'm
Really?
really sorry to say
Hey,
that. Yeah.
the Hammers fans, they're
I
fuming
know,
with
I
you
know.
now.
I hope I'm wrong.
Anyway, that's the last game week. Let's go over to Morgs for his final prediction.
Now the final game, West Brom against West Ham. Now this, just like Spurs, is West Ham's last chance to really get into Europa League. They need to win this game to have, any chance. So do I think they'll win? You know what? I had written down that I was going to go 2-1 West Ham, but I'm not. I'm going to change. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go West Brom 1, West Ham 1. Thank you guys very much for having me on the channel. Everybody get Thogden to 1 million subs. He deserves it. Thank you guys.
Morgs, you're a legend for coming on, mate. I never thought that you'd be on PL predictions.
Yeah.
Because first of all, you're a Wednesday fan. Second of all, didn't even know you watched this. But what a pleasure, mate. Everybody that's over from the Morgs channel, please subscribe. And if you haven't yet subbed to his channel, he's basically changing up the content, mixing it all up. And I'd fully recommend that you go over there, subscribe to him. And yeah, he's a good lad. Maybe we'll get him on next year as well.
That'd be brilliant. And maybe we'll get Bold Martin.
Oh, get them all on. Morg's mum as well. Throw him in the mix. Morg's dad versus Thog dad is what we need to see in the boxing ring. That's the next thing we'll be talking about, lads. So anyway, enough about that. Listen, we've got one more week of Premier League. It's been a crazy Premier League week. Thog dad's wearing the Line of Duty shirt. The police are going crazy on the road as he wears that shirt, as he lifts it up. I don't think you can pick that up with the audio, but I can promise you it happened. And on that note, I think we'll end it. Let's get 14k likes. See you all later. Bye.